Thank you, Bird, for losing your mind as soon as I start this. Anyway, guys, what's going on? You are watching TCG Central, and in today's video, guys, I'm going to be showing you my starting list for the Hop Zacian deck, or just pure straight Hop. So I was really excited to get this deck finished finally, and I wanted to cover it in the video, and I wanted to do a classic old school style deck video. So we're going to go ahead and hop straight into the list. And if you guys are interested in seeing the list, if you just want to fast forward to the end of the video. So we're going to be starting off with 2 copies of Hop Zacian EX. Has the attack Insta Strike. This attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Has a base of 30 as well. We do not run any Metal Energy in this deck, so this is not going to be an Arch Duraludon version. It's a straight up pure version of this deck. So we're not even going to look at Brave Slash, but it does do 240, which is pretty good. So we're running 2 copies of that. And then we're also running 2 copies of Hop's Cramorant. Has an attack that does 120, and if your opponent doesn't have exactly 3 or 4 prize cards remaining, this attack does nothing. Just a nice, solid beat stick Pokemon that you can send up after your Zacian has been knocked out. We're also running 2 copies of Hop Snorlax. So extra helpings, attacks used by your Hop Pokemon do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon before applying weakness resistance. And then it has Dynamic Press for 140. This Pokemon does 80 damage to itself. This is actually a pretty beefy attacker if you do need to attack with Snorlax, but really it's just in there to kind of amp up your damage a little bit. Next up, we have 2 copies of Monkey Dory with Adrena Brain. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon has any dark energy attached, you may move up to 3 damage counters from one of your Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So you have a damaged Zacian or just something on your bench that's damaged. Or if Monkey Dory has damage, there's a dark on it, you can just move some energies, which will help out with some numbers with attacking on Zacian with that strike, with its first attack, excuse me. It's a strike, or if you need to just do some extra damage in general, or if you just need to line up numbers, you know, Monkey Dory is in there for that purpose. Next up, we have 1 copy of Tatsugiri with the attract customers. If it's in the active spot, you just get to look at the top 6 cards of your deck and find a supporter card. And since we love attacking for less energy in this deck, we'll get to that here in a moment, we're running a copy of Blood Moon Ursaluna with the season skill ability. Blood Moon, used by this Pokemon, costs 1 less energy. Wow, I just had a stroke trying to read that. Okay, basically, for every prize card your opponent's taking, this Pokemon attacks for 1 less colorless. Sorry, I tried to read that, and I just, like, I don't know, my head just, like, stopped working there for a second. Dadgum. And then, of course, we have 1 copy of Pheasantipity for Flip the Script. Whenever one of your Pokemon gets knocked out, you get to draw 3, so that's a nice little recovery card. 1 copy of Latias, because every single thing in here has free retreat, and so our Skyliner ability is going to come in clutch. And then we're going to finish with 1 copy of Iron Bundle. The Hyper Blower pretty much just turns your opponent to Escape Rope. So that is going to do it for the Pokemon. Hopefully I don't have another stroke the rest of the video. That would not be good. So the supporter cards, we're going to start off with 4 copies of Arven. This allows us to search out a Pokemon tool and an item card, which is very clutch for this deck. Then we have 4 copies of Professor's Research, just to pitch our hand, draw 7. 2 copies of Iono, 2 copies of Boss's Order, and then we have 1 copy of Black Belt's Training, in case we need to do some extra damage. Now here is where kind of the, I guess, the strategy of the deck comes in. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at Postwick. This is the exact same thing as Snorlax. It just allows your Hop's Pokemon to do 30 extra damage. And then we have the big card of the deck, which is going to be Hop's Choice Band. Actually, let's get the reverse in the front. Or not in the front, so that way you guys can somewhat read this. Attacks used by the Hop's Pokemon this card is attached to cost 1 less colorless and do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So, as you guys recall, both Cramorant and Zacian have attacks that cost 1 colorless. So while this is on there, they get to attack for free and they do more damage. So if you have Snorlax, Postwick, this on there, that is an additional 90 damage. And then of course we have Black Belt's Training in here as well. We have Monkey Dory to kind of help with some additional damage. So overall, we're going to be cranking out a good amount of damage just with this combination of cards, which is sort of the theme of this deck. Just cheap, quick attacks, and I like that. So we're running 4 copies of this, obviously. You can swap out a copy of Postwick for something else if you really want to. Right now, I'm just kind of doing this sort of as a starter list, just something basic that you guys could pick up and kind of work on from there. We also have 2 copies of Hop's Bag. I'm going to go ahead and put those there with the Hops cards. You just search your deck for 2 basic Hops Pokemon, and you put them on your bench. This is a fantastic card for this deck because you can grab yourself an attacker and a Snorlax or just whatever you might need for the situation. We also run 4 copies of Ultra Nest Ball just to search out anything. Oh, wow. This is not going well, is it? I just punched the camera. 4 copies of Pokegear. Look at the top 7 and grab a supporter. We're going to run 3 copies of Night Stretcher in case we need to get Monkey Dory, Pheasantipity, get a Snorlax back, need to attack with another Cramorant, just whatever the situation might call for. 1 copy of Earthen Vessel, 1 copy of Palpad, 1 copy of a Skateboard. We have 1 copy of Technical Machine Devolution, which goes wonderful with the Zacian. 1 Counter Catcher, and then our ace spec of choice is going to be Secret Box, so that way we can discard some cards and grab ourselves an item card, Pokemon tool, supporter, and a stadium. So that means you can grab yourself Hop's Bag, you can grab Hop's Choice Band, you can grab Postwick, you can grab like a Arvin, whatever, dude. You can grab all kinds of stuff. Basically, the entire strategy can be grabbed with your Secret Box, which is nice. Run it, and then the energy, we're running 2 copies of Jet Energy. Actually, I'm gonna put the energies over here since there's a little room. And then the energy is kind of being tweaked right now. We have 5 copies of Dark Energy. So this is kind of what I'm working with right now. I like the Jet Energies in here just in case I need to send something up to the active spot, like if I need to swoop in with the Snorlax or I need to swoop in with a Cramorant, just whatever. Or if, I'm being locked or something like that. I don't know. Jet Energy is just a very flexible card. I like it in this deck, and it doesn't really throw off anything super bad. But this is the overall list for the deck. The strategy for it is very, very simple. You're just kind of leading with the Zacian. You have damage modifiers in here as well. Once Zacian goes down, you can switch to Cramorant. Monkey Dory's in there to kind of move some damage around. And you have Blood Moon Ursaluna in case you need a late game attacker. But overall, I really like this deck. It's a whole lot of fun and something that I've been wanting to build since pretty much I saw the cards come out and I saw how powerful they could potentially be. But let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed the deck, please make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And I will be back with some more Pokemon content for you soon. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Don't forget to like, follow, and obey.